The number of people killed in Southern California's mudslides now stands at 15, and it could go higher. Several individuals still haven't been located.
As much as 5 inches of rain triggered the slide. Water poured down hillsides, left bare by the Thomas fire.
As we take a quick look at the current situation here, much improved weather, as in you don't have the onslaught of rain right now across the west.
All right, well, thanks for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. I'm meteorologist Alex Wallace.
And I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa, tracking Winter Storm Hunter, a system bringing a mix of rain, snow, and ice. So Winter Storm Hunter is making its way across the country right now. The first round headed from the plains through the Midwest today and then to the East Coast by the end of the week. Then behind it, the next round of frigid air moves in. There are places, Alex, that saw the 40s yesterday and maybe sub-zero wind chills by tomorrow.
Yeah, quick change. That is no doubt the situation here as Hunter begins to move on through. You can see some of the areas that we are watching right now. A number of locations under winter alerts across the upper Midwest, Plain States, Northern Rockies as well. In all, total 11.6 million that are under some sort of alert. Winter storm watches encompass a good 3.4 million. Many of those will be upgraded to warning soon. Right now, we've got about 650,000 that are under winter storm warnings. No blizzard warnings, ice storm warnings at the moment, but a whole bunch of winter weather advisories of over 7.5 million dealing with that. So you get the point. There's a lot of people that will be impacted by this particular system. All right, so here's what we're looking at right now. We do have a bit of snow tracking its way across parts of Montana. It's starting to eke out into the northern parts of the plains as well. You can see some snow showers there in western parts of North Dakota. There's a closer view getting pretty close to Bismarck. Billings, you're dealing with the snow right now. Down around Casper is a little bit of light snow shower activity for you. And we're just going to continue to see this filling in and then pressing on off towards the east. And it's not just the precipitation that we're going to have to deal with, but also the winds. They'll be starting to kick up. Here's the wind forecast here for us. And you can see Bismarck, 20 to 25 mile an hour winds sustained with gusts that could be up around 30 to 35. And you see more of those winds expanding here for you and increasing through our Thursday, getting into the evening hours. They start to come down, though, Friday morning. Light conditions here for us. But as the storm system is really winding up, the winds will be a problem, whipping around a lot of that precipitation. So travel really not going to be something that's recommended here across the middle of the country. Here's today's forecast. More snow. Billings, Bismarck to Rapid City. Then tonight, we're shifting things east. Anywhere you see the blue, that's where we've got the snow. The pink, more of a mix. Minneapolis, you'll start off with the mix and then switch over to mostly that snow. And then you see rain from Chicago to St. Louis heading on into tomorrow. That continues here for you. But the totals for us, looks like just south of Minneapolis is where we'll see the higher totals. Maria, could be looking at anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of snow.
Here we go, Alex. Thank you. As we track Winter Storm Hunter, want to make sure that you are prepared for all of the impacts we could see, and that includes rain, snow, ice, as well as those gusty winds. And as meteorologist Stephanie Abrams shows us, snow plus wind can mean a big difference in what you see on the ground.
Snowfalls can sometimes be deceiving because, yes, it falls and settles nicely on the ground, but then you throw some wind into it, and that can change everything, especially when it comes to shoveling. So out of a snowstorm, you know, maybe you get 6, 8, 9 inches of snow, and it looks nice, right? And you might not have to shovel all that much, but then you throw in some of that snow, and that's when it can change an 8-inch snowfall to a 3 feet snowfall. And that means that your shoveling is going to be a lot harder and a lot more difficult. And sometimes you have to keep shoveling because you shovel and then the wind blows it back into that place.
Thanks, Stephanie. Yes, those snowdrifts can be dramatic. And boy, do we have snow and wind. So we'll have to see what this looks like in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where it is blowing snow, falling snow all night tonight and towards tomorrow. And yes, those wind gusts, you're not seeing things 35 to 40 miles per hour. And that means sub-zero wind chill temperatures. So keep that in mind if you have to be out and about. Of course, Omaha, too, just about on that 5+ inches of snowfall category. You go to the north and east, and it could be more like half a foot. So focusing on Sioux Falls, South Dakota really kicks in tonight through tomorrow. 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, but remember, those winds are going to be 15 to 25 plus miles per hour, and those temperatures will be falling to 0, and with the winds, of course, feeling colder than that. Duluth, a similar situation in that you're going through a dramatic change as well, from the 30s this evening, and then by tomorrow, single digit, so 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts on top of that. All right, let's take you now to Nashville, Tennessee, one of those places really going to be on alert for all kinds of wintry nastiness, and you can see that camera shaking right now. So let's talk about that next phase with our Dr. Greg Postel, and it's good to take it in these 2 bites, Greg, because there are so many potential impacts.
Right, and the one that's coming, we think, later on tomorrow night, Thursday night into Friday and Saturday, has the potential to produce all kinds of nasty winter weather, including ice and snow. This map tells you that many of these locations haven't seen that kind of weather in a long time. This is how long it's been since the Weather Service has last issued a winter storm warning. And the area that I want to draw your attention to is right out in here, because that's where we think we're going to get some of this ice and snow, and where I do think eventually we're going to see those winter storm warnings. But it's been, in some cases, more than 12 months, over a year, almost in some cases, almost 2 years since we've seen the Weather Service issue those kinds of warnings. I think they will come out. I think this afternoon we will see winter storm watches out for many of these locations for, first of all, ice, right in this swath, beginning probably late tomorrow night into early Friday, and then some snow on top of that. So watch out for the potential for power outages and almost crippling conditions in certain spots. If you get as much as a ½ of an inch of ice accumulation or accretion, which is definitely a possibility, that makes traveling almost impossible, and of course could bring down some trees and some power lines as well. But on Thursday evening, tomorrow evening, by say 5 or 6 o'clock, you probably won't see a whole lot of winter weather on the maps yet. We're going to have to wait a little bit because the cold air hasn't yet arrived by then. What's going to happen is that cold air is going to be coming in from the west and sliding underneath the warmer air aloft. So that rain is going to transition over to freezing rain. In other words, it's still going to be raining, but the cold air right near the ground is going to ensure that it essentially freezes on contact. And you're going to see that develop across parts of Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, and even western Tennessee early in the morning on Friday. Our models suggest that it'll also be complicated by a bunch of snow too. So you're going to have that freezing rain, then transition probably over to some snow in certain areas, and that is arguably the worst combination of them all, because you have the ice and then the snow on top of it, and then the cold, right? It's going to get colder over the weekend and in the first part of next week. That is going to ensure that the icing sticks around for a while, so travel could be very difficult for a while yet to come. Right along the northeast coast, I want to point out that right along this swath here from, say, Portland, Maine, all the way down through D.C. on the I-95 corridor, the storm track is a little bit too far to the west for you to get significant freezing weather or snow out of this one. Instead, you'll get rain. But as I mentioned, the snow is going to be on top of the ice, so 5 to 8 inches of snow on top of freezing conditions could, Alex, make travel almost impossible. Stay tuned for all the latest. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dr. Postel. Well, brutally cold temperatures can lead to a condition known as flash freezing. Meteorologist Maria LaRosa explains this dangerous highway phenomenon.
A flash freeze can be very dangerous. It happens when temperatures take a sudden and dramatic dive. Say it's above freezing and roads become wet with rain. Temperatures then drop quickly, as much as 10 degrees in just an hour. Roads don't have any time to dry off, and when the temperature plunges past 32 degrees, they freeze almost instantly, creating a dangerous layer of ice. If you're on the road when this happens, you can quickly get into trouble, just like these drivers. A safe reaction time is 8 to 10 seconds between cars. Even if there's no precipitation falling, wet roads, parking lots, and puddles will quickly turn to ice. And it can happen just that fast.
Oof, gotta take it easy, take it slow out there on those roads. Back with more on what's happening in Southern California.